Hey guys, it's Mr. Wishahi again, and this video is going to help you out in using the Pythagorean theorem, but when you're solving for a leg, that means you're solving for either an A or a B. We're going to still refer to our same formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. However, this time you're going to be solving for a leg, which is either your A or your B, and that means the measurement of a leg and the hypotenuse will be given to you, so you'll be solving for that second leg. This is also referred to as the inverse, which is the reverse. Okay, let's look at our first example. I've got a triangle, a right triangle with a measurement of 15, a hypotenuse of 17, but we don't know that second leg. So this is where we're going to change up our formula a little bit. That means instead of a squared plus b squared equals c squared, I'm actually going to use c squared minus a squared, and that's going to give me b squared. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and label my sides. A, C is always opposite of the right triangle, or right angle, and then B will be this unknown measurement. Okay, now I'm going to enter them into my formula. So that's going to be 17 squared minus 15 squared equals B squared. Okay, it's very important that you put your C minus your A, C squared minus A squared equals B squared. Okay, so now let's use our calculators. We got 17 squared minus 15 squared, and that comes out to 64. So 64 equals B squared. But we're not done yet. 64 is the square of B. It's giving you the area of line B, in other words. That means we have to do one more step. We actually have to square root everything. And the square root of B, where the number times itself that gets to 64, is 8. And that's going to be the length of your missing leg. That's going to be the length of side B. Okay? Another way of looking at it is, instead of looking at c squared minus a squared equals b squared, you could still use the a squared plus b squared equals c squared order. So you're going to plug in what you know. Alright, I know 53 is opposite of the right angle, so that's going to be my C. 28 has to be one of the legs, so in this case let's call it B, and then this missing leg is A. Let's put in what we know. We don't know A, so we'll leave it as A squared. We do know B, which is 28, and square that. We know C is 53, so we'll square that as well. So I'm going to drop A squared. Using my calculator, I'm going to square 28. That gets me 784. Okay, and then we are going to use our calculator to square 53. 2,809. At this point, you have to treat it like an equation. That means you need to solve for A. And you do that by subtracting 784 from each side. So 2,809 minus 784. That gets us 2,025. And I'm going to drop my a squared. So again, I know if a squared equals 225, to solve for a, you need to square root. So now I'm going to square root 2,025. That comes out to 45. So you could still use the a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You just have to treat it like you would you're solving for a variable in equation. I prefer to use the c squared minus a squared equals b squared because that's one less step. So let's use this last example with that. So label my sides. I know right off the bat that this will be my hypotenuse because it's opposite of the right angle. So I'm going to label that as C. I don't know this leg, so we could label that as B for just to make it easier. And then A. Again, it doesn't matter if I label this leg A or this leg B and this leg A or B, but as long as your hypotenuse is labeled C. So now we just enter them to our formula. My C is 89, so that's 89 squared. My A is 80, so that's 80 squared. And then solving for B squared. Alright, let the calculator do all the work for you. 89 squared minus 80 squared. So just make sure you got the same thing. Alright. 1,521 equals B squared. But we don't want B squared, we want the square of B. Or I'm sorry, the square root of B. So that's the area of your square. You just want a side length, so you square root it. So square root 1,521. And that gets you 39. So that length is 39. Okay? So just to review, whenever you're solving for the length of a leg, either an A or B, it doesn't matter which one you want to call it, you're going to do one extra step. You're going to be doing some subtracting. You could either do it as C squared minus A squared equals B squared, as I did two of the examples, or calculate it like you would your A squared plus B squared equals C squared, but then you're going to have to do some subtracting. And of course, always you want to square root your answer. Okay, so that is the Pythagorean theorem, solving for the leg, or better yet, its inverse. Hopefully this helps you. If you need to rewatch it and look at the examples, go for it. Just keep practicing it and you'll get better. Good luck.